It's no surprise sometimes the Googans like to put things where they don't belong, just like some of the things we'll witness in this episode of Googans of the Week. Of course, things that don't belong go into many different categories, kind of like right here where we see a boat cruising toward a bridge. Problem is, nobody's on board. That definitely doesn't belong like that.
We have a rowboat, two fellas in a jet ski. Where are they? There they go. Hot pursuit, catch the boat, jump aboard, shut down.
The really scary part of this one is that boat is heading directly for a bridge and a bunch of oncoming traffic that has no clue that nobody's on board. Somehow, miraculously, they got somebody on board and they were able to get the throttles pulled back and stop before it got to the bridge. But this one always serves as a reminder of one of the most important rules in boating, that everybody is responsible to do everything in their power to avoid an accident. So when you see a boat coming at you full blast, don't just assume they're going to get out of the way, because sometimes there's nobody on there to get them out of the way. Nothing quite like a little boat-on-boat action down at the boat ramp. This is like every Chevy fanboy's dream right here. They're already saying it in the comments. How many Fords does it take to pull a boat out of the ramp? Now, a lot of times when we see these problems, it's got to do with loading issues, and one of the loading issues I feel on this one, if you look here, it appears they've got that trailer just a little too low, and that hitch needs to be a few more inches up. Now, of course, sometimes things like that are a little easier to spot when you pull yourself out of the perspective and take a deeper, longer look at it. When you're looking up close, sometimes you're just gonna miss things. Kinda like our next crew, they got a little too close and somehow they just missed it. Now, it's not always boneheaded moves on the water by the boaters. Sometimes some other people like to get out there and do it as well. I mean, what do you think pilots do who own boats when they get a little off time? They don't mind taking the plane in the water as well. Always gotta remember to double check them bilge pumps, boys, because if you don't, you might turn into a bilge pump yourself. Now, what's really interesting in this one is I'm wondering where the water is coming from. Do you think they forgot the drain plug, or do you think there's something wrong with the bottom of the hull? Let me know in the comments below. Now, while our last crew probably should have checked for the drain plug, this crew better check for some tows. Now our crew on this one decided to go ahead and hit it head on. I wonder how this happened. While this crew took this one head on, something else the Googans tend to love to take head on, that's gonna be the old sandbars. They are notorious for finding them everywhere. It doesn't matter what they're doing on the boat. They can be out there relaxing, enjoying, thinking they're in deep water, and the Googans somehow will always seem to find that right spot to hit. Just as we see in these clips here. These crews don't give up until they get it off the bar either. Kinda like our last people we saw. Gotta watch them toes the same way you watch those drain plugs. I got a feeling we lost a few in those clips. Our Googans here are in the opposite situation. They'd probably give anything to be at the sandbar. Here's the wildest part of this one. They were actually shark fishing, which means there's sharks in the water. Now, of course, every once in a while, the Googans will get in a rush and do what they gotta do to try and catch the bridge, but that one doesn't often pay off.
Got it. What a dumb.
Now, even when the Googans aren't in a rush to catch the bridge, sometimes they just can't judge the height very well and they wind up in spots like this. I mean, I guess not judging the bridge is a whole lot better than winding up in deep water. I'm wondering if the trailer was too small or if they just didn't have it loaded right, but definitely things didn't go as planned when they were trying to pull this boat out. Now they're doing what they gotta do to try and get it back in the water. Nothing like heading out on the water with your old buddy Captain Morgan. He's always a good time. Now, one of my favorite comments I always hear out on the water and see in the comments all the time when I start talking about those old tune boys is that you can't sink a tune, especially when we see them come out of haulover. See that one all the time lighting up the comments, but the reality is you can't stop the Googans from trying. If they get out there in the tune, they're going to try and find a way to take her down. Thanks for watching, crew. Hope you enjoyed this episode of Googans of the Week. If you ever see anything crazy happening on your waterways, be sure to hit us up on Facebook or Instagram and let us know, and you might see your stories over here. And if you guys haven't already, go ahead and drop an anchor on the subscribe button.